Hi guys and welcome to another video on this channel. Today it's round 2 of season 2 of the My Team career mode, and if you did miss the previous one around Bahrain, be sure to check this one out. It was a good start to the season for us. We didn't DNF like most of the races of the last season, so definitely an improvement on that. And in the end we finished in P12, close to the points, but I think we were 10 seconds off P10 and P11. So yeah, good position to be in after last season, but unfortunately not quite good enough. And for the first time in this career mode, I actually decided to put some sponsors on the car. I wasn't avoiding it or something, but it's just I never thought about it, and when I thought about it, then for the next time I could have done it, I just forgot it. So yeah, we're putting some sponsors on the car now, and I think, to be honest, it looks much better with the sponsors on, because without them it just looks so empty, I think. I mean, you're used to it from real F1 and the other cars in My Team career mode. There are sponsors all over it, and our car just didn't have sponsors on it, so it felt a little bit empty with the livery and without the sponsors. So I decided to finally put them up there, and at some places I had to change the color to black because for some reason the game decided to make it white on a white background. So yeah, I think the game could have adjusted that by itself, but I'm not gonna complain about that because it's just a little detail and doesn't even take much time to change. So for Jeddah, I hope we can maybe score some points. It's one of my stronger tracks, I think. So we should have maybe even a little more pace than at Bahrain. So maybe we can get some points out of this race, as we're actually at some parts of the chassis side in the R&D already reach our maximum we can do with Spec 2, which is kind of annoying because we are still the worst car with chassis, and we're already hitting the limit of what we can do. And there in the standings you see we got 0 points as a team, but we're P8 in the standings. So at this point we are already better than last season, and I hope we can keep that up because we definitely need to. And then I had to pick a rival, and I decided to go with the one who's, I think, the one who finishes in not the best position of those three most of the races. I hope I picked someone who I can defeat, because that would really help us with acclaim and that stuff. And as you can see, I mean, the Alpine is worse in the performance chart than the McLaren, and I think Ocon finished behind Gasly last race, so I think I made the best decision I could. And going to the race weekend, I hope I can prove myself right, and I hope I can beat Ocon for the first race in the rivalry to get a good start to that too. But let's see. And as we go into the race weekend, you can see all sessions are going to be dry, which is not really a surprise in the desert. And we're still P9 in the performance chart, but we're close to Haas. Williams and Alpine actually got ahead of us a little bit, but we should be able to close that gap for the next races again. So let's skip through practice and after that go to qualifying. So we go into qualifying now, and actually on the last season we got P1 around here in Q2. The lap wasn't perfectly on track at every corner, but we still got P1. And now we have a much better car. And we get a good run through sector 1. Actually tap the wall a little bit, but get a good exit out of the fast section. And then we could have maybe gone a little bit faster through that left-hander. And now we're gonna have to go close to the wall. We hit the apex perfectly. Get a good exit onto the long straight. I mean, not really a straight, but it's still flat out. And then braking just at the light panel. Get a purple second sector. And now onto the last. Again, I wouldn't say straight, but it's a flat out section. And then we actually missed the braking point a little bit, locked up a little bit, and then up to the line we go. It's a 130.6, and that's enough to get us through to Q2 in P9. Our teammate Pusher unfortunately is out in P20, so into Q2 we go now. And even though the first lap was good, we definitely need a better one here, because with track evolution we probably not gonna be in the top 10 with a 30.6. And now we again get a good run through the fast section in sector 1. And we get 34.0 through the first sector. Then miss the apex a little bit at the fast left-hander. Could have gone a little bit faster at the exit. And then again nailed that apex in the fast right-hander. Get the good apex onto the flat-out section, into the second DRS zone of the lap. Get a good rotation onto the second. I don't really know what to call it, because for me flat out section is a straight, but technically it isn't a straight. But I'll just call it straight from now on, because it's just stupid to, yeah. And again we put a 30.6 again, and like I said, it probably won't be enough, so we go out at the end of Q2 again, but we go out in a train of cars, and I tried to let everyone through because I didn't want to get dive bombed on my quali lap, but then the Alpine and the McLaren just didn't want to go through. And then for some reason they wanted to go through. And then I decided to go off track so everyone could overtake us. But then, for some reason, this and the next lap got invalidated. So we won't be able to set another lap in this qualifying. And we're out by 800ths of a second. And I think I definitely would have gained 800ths on that lap. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. So P11 is still a good spot on the grid. So let's go to the race and try to move up some places and maybe get some points, maybe get even a top 5. So yeah, let's see what we can do, and let's go to the grid now.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hijaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Norris, Perez, Stroll, Gasly, the owner driver, Albon, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Fittipaldi, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Joe, Sargent, De Vries, Bottas and Théo Pourchaire. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson.
A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who is beside me in the commentary box today.
Let's start with Aston Martin. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
Go. And like in Bahrain, we can do a medium to hard or soft to medium strategy. And this time I decided to go with the medium to hard strategy because in Bahrain we tried the soft to medium, but I noticed really early I had to go to the hards from the softs to make it to the end. And to be honest, I thought about going soft to hards, but in the end I decided to go medium to hards. But many cars around us are on the soft tire, so we need to be careful at the start to not get overtaken by everyone.
Decent parking. Let's try and get a good launch as the lights go out.
And now the lights go on and we get a good getaway. Go to the inside and then Paris just turns in on me and hits us, and we lose 2 positions again, and we're back in P11. We were ahead of Gasly and Stroll, and then Paris just hit us and cost us 2 positions. And then on to lap 4 of the race. I gained really much on Stroll and Gasly ahead. And then I overtook them and I was pretty much alongside Stroll. And he, just like Paris, just turned in on me. I was alongside and he just hit me and broke our front wing. So now we're gonna have to pit at the end of this lap. And because of the understeer we went a little bit wide and bottomed out on the at curb.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
So yeah, it was massive understeer and I definitely had to pit at the end of the lap. And then Stroll hit our rear and we got completely killed. Now we have orange floor damage and a red front wing. And there you can see it from Stroll's perspective. I mean, if you see it from this perspective, Stroll just took the racing line and we were just too slow with our front wing damage. So yeah, I probably should have left him space around the outside. But then at the end of the safety car period, 2 cars ahead of us just decided to box at the end of the safety car. So they just lost, I think, 20 to 25 seconds. Because I don't know if they had front wing damage because they touched each other under safety car conditions, or if they just had a stupid strategy. And actually I think it was, you can see there on the minimap, I think it was 4 cars. And I think actually Williams did a double stack at the end of the safety car period. So it, yeah, that's just a little bit stupid in my opinion. But yeah, we try to get to the end of the race on the hard tire now, because we don't want to make another pit stop, because that would just throw us out of the points, I think. And we definitely need some points this season. Because, I mean, our car is in the position to get points. It's good enough for that. And we should get more than P11 in the Constructors' Championship this season.
Gap to your teammate behind.
And on lap 9 we go down the inside of Sargent and Gasly. Well, at the exit of turn 2, Gasly gets ahead of us, but with the use of ERS we can go ahead of him and stay ahead of him. And now we're in P11 on the hard tire. I think everyone around us has to make another pit stop. So we are in a very good position if we can stay with the leaders. And then into turn 1 of lap 10, we understeer into the side of Magnussen and damage our front wing again. So now we have to defend with a damaged front wing and a broken floor. And the VSC really helps us right now because we have 9 laps to go, and every second where the cars behind can't make up any time is helping us. And under VSC you can see Stroll, who was actually in the lead of the race, pitted. So now we're in P2 with 3 seconds gap to Hamilton, but we're also a second under the delta. So we're actually on 4 to 5 seconds gap. We will see when we are at full racing speed again. So all we need to do is give it our maximum pace and try to keep as many cars as possible behind. And now we're racing again with 4.5 seconds gap to Hamilton. And then 2 laps later, actually we lost 4 seconds to Hamilton. And I think 4 to Leclerc and Russell as well. So if we lose 2 seconds a lap, that's maybe still gonna be some points. But I don't think there will be many points on the table for us. And then with this mistake, I just broke way too late. There are unfortunately no points for us. To be honest, I confused the corners. I thought I was a corner earlier. So I thought I had the left hand king and the right hand king to go flat out, but I just didn't concentrate as well as I should have, and I lost probably at least 1 point because of that. So yeah, not a good ending to the race. Big mistake from my side, other than in the last season where often we didn't really have anything we could do about the DNFs. This time it was completely my fault. No screen freeze, no other car involved. I was just not focused on the race. So yeah, it's a stupid mistake, cost us points. And in the end, I think Paris maybe made another pit stop, but I'm not sure. And we're down to P10 in the Constructors' Championship. And in the driver standings, we're on P16, like we were most of the last season. So, well, yeah, like I said, didn't went well. Stupid mistake. Shouldn't be happening. And I probably lost points because of that. and I lost money because of the sponsors goal. But we'll try to make it better next time, so see you guys next time. Goodbye.